Dealers love to sneak fees in on you. These scams, you should never pay. Car dealers are good and they're very sneaky because we do this every single day where you only do it every few years. In this video, we're going to talk about those fees you should never pay a car dealership, some of the fees that you're stuck paying, and most importantly, how to negotiate these sneaky fees out. It's really easy to spot some fees that are the obvious, and that would be if a car has one of these. Security fees are some of the biggest ones that dealers love to add, and they always tell you, sorry, it's on the car, so they force you to pay for it because you don't know how to negotiate it out. The biggest ones you're gonna see are data dots, secure etch, VIN etching, and out west, the big one, low jack. There's also some people putting GPS units on cars, which are all trash. Now remember, I'm inside of a dealership every single day. I'm in closed door meetings, I'm in strategy meetings, I go to conferences with lots and lots of dealers who just spill the beans of their strategies. Dealers' cost on all those items are extremely low, and the profit margins that they can reap, and they do reap, are extremely high. Dealers are willing to take the risk on those low cost, high profit items, add them to every single car, and believe it or not, less than 20% of people can successfully negotiate those things out because they weren't taught how to do so. So a little later in the video, I'm gonna teach you how to negotiate these out. Another big one that dealers love to do are pinstripes on cars. These pinstripes cost them $15 a piece, and they love to charge $200 and $300. Every single type of stripe package on a car is a scam. Now, if it's on the Mayroney sticker, like from the factory, that's not a scam. Camaro's got a big stripe package, Corvette's got stripe packages, right? Those aren't scams. We're talking about dealer add-ons. Nitrogen in tires. Nitrogen is a big one dealers still do. This came out in the mid to early 2000s. Dealerships were charging all sorts of absorbent fees because they were sold on the idea that it helps your tires stay inflated longer. It's scientifically proven with as much nitrogen as in the air that we're breathing, that it does no benefit to your cars. There'll still be people in the comment section of this video saying how they use it and it's a big benefit. I'm telling you, it's a scam, it's snake oil. Don't fall for nitrogen in your tires. Other accessories, I've talked about this in the video of the 5 worst car brands in America, which we'll link at the end of the video. But yes, people still add mud flaps, they still add door edge guards. All of that stuff is absolute trash. Get it from the accessory department, get it on Amazon, get it in other places, but don't pay a dealership when it's on their car 1 penny for that stuff. After you have bought that car, that's when this one comes into play. That finance manager is going to sit down and talk to you about credit life insurance. Any type of insurance that the dealerships are trying to sell you when it comes to loan cancellation is a scam. Don't do it. You can go out to your insurance agent or other avenues and get the better policy that costs way less and has better coverage. Don't ever buy loan cancellation or credit life type insurance policies from a car dealership. In the comment section of every video, I get people to ask me about gap insurance. I did a video on gap insurance, and my comment before about not buying anything loan cancellation does not apply to gap insurance. Gap insurance is extremely important, and if you do not put down 20% of the vehicle's value, not 20% of the car's price, 20% of the vehicle's value, then you need gap insurance. If you're rolling negative equity into your new loan, you need gap insurance. Now, a lot of people will say, hey, I'm gonna buy gap insurance from my insurance company. I'm not a big fan of gap insurance from your insurance company because something happens that nobody talks about. You have a total loss of any sort, regardless if it's your fault or not your fault, that's one claim. If you have to make a claim on your gap insurance, it is a strong possibility that that is your second claim. So now you get dinged for 2 claims because you got gap through your automobile insurance policy. Look at the dealer's gap insurance, look at your insurance gap insurance, and use what's best. But gap insurance is very good. This one we have on our sign right here in front of the dealership, and it's kind of sort of a scam. Yes, factory certification. I'm not a big fan of it. When a dealership sits there and tries to upsell you on the certification, don't do it. Absolute scam, especially when Dave sits here and says that it's gonna cost $3,000. Absolute horrible idea. I'm not a big fan of factory certification. Anyways, I am a big fan of certain extended warranties, ones that cover the vehicle like a new car. You're gonna get longer coverage, better coverage, and better terms when you buy an extended warranty over certified used. Check out this rip-off sticker. sticker. This thing is an epitome, and this dealership should be ashamed of what they're doing. Not to mention the market adjustment at the bottom, but they're charging for factory reimbursed items, pre-delivery inspection. This is something the factory pays the dealership to do when the vehicle arrives here. Never pay for any type of PDIs, dealer prep fees, transportation fees, advertising fees. Never pay for any of those. Every single one of those fees is a scam. Now, you probably don't think like I do, because I drive down the road and I look at people's cars and I just wonder if they got scammed or not. And there's one telltale that proves that the customer driving a car got scammed, and that's this guy right here. The third blinking brake light. Yes, this is one of the biggest scams in the automotive industry, and people pay it all of the time. Now, this is something you never want to pay for. Now, the dealerships will say they've already got it installed. I've even seen this on used cars, that they're putting those rip-off stickers on used cars and saying, hey, this is for your safety. Now, these don't cost very much. You can buy these on Amazon right now for, boom, 10 bucks. Yes, you can buy this for $10 on Amazon, but dealers will sit there and charge you $200, $300, $400, $500, and $600 for these. So never buy a blinking brake light for your car, regardless if they tell you how safe it is. They'll tell you all sorts of statistics, and 83% of all statistics are made up. Now, I want to talk about destination fees. Destination fees on new cars are a given. They're on 100% of cars that are shipped from the factory to the dealership. You can't negotiate those out. The dealership doesn't make any money on them. They're just part of a new car purchase. But there's nothing extra you have to pay for. Don't pay a second destination charge. Never pay any type of destination charge on a used car. Dealers do that. Dealers will also try to tell you that there's some type of transportation fee on a used car because they have to ship it here. Never pay for it, and don't confuse these. If you are in North Carolina buying a car in Kentucky and have to pay a third-party company to ship it to your front door, that is normal. I do it every single day, but don't confuse those two, and never pay a dealership for any type of travels or destination fees. We talked about dealer markup earlier in the video, and the best advice that I can give you is never pay a dealer markup. It's very unlikely that a dealership is going to relinquish that fee, because there's some sucker who hasn't watched the Chevy Dude videos that's going to come right behind you and pay it because they got to have that car or SUV. 2 tips on this: simply walk out and never go back to the dealership, or 2, just sit there and negotiate it as little as possible if you really want to have that car. And most importantly, for the third reason, just start calling around and making some Facebook and social media posts to see if anybody's got that car without the markup. Chances are it's out there for you. Now, all these fees I talked about are typically talked about up front, and there's 2 theories on how to negotiate these fees. Hey, be upfront with them. Just tell them straight up front that you're not going to pay any of these fees. You can tell them when you're on the lot, you can tell them when you're on the phone, or you can just kind of wait until they go get you numbers and say, hey, by the way, all those fees on that extra sticker, I'm not willing to pay, so do not bring me a worksheet with those fees on. If you do, I'm going to get up and I'm gonna walk out. There is no second chance. There is no call me to get me back in. It's cut and dry. It's black and white. I'm not willing to pay them, so make sure your manager knows. The second way to negotiate those fees is to kind of just go slow. This is gonna work really well if you have a trade-in. Let the dealership present with all the numbers, and then just start chipping away at each fee and make the car salesman go back and forth. We hate the back and forth game, right? But you're in control here. You want to make that salesperson go back to the manager, take those fees off, and keep chipping away slowly and slowly and slowly. The reason we don't want to do theory 1 on a trade is because they can start playing games with you on your trade-in. We want to keep games to a minimal. You're going to be in control of this situation, and you're going to be in control of these negotiations. So when we chip away just a little bit at a time, then it's going to work out better for you. What fees should you pay a dealership? There's only a few fees that you're absolutely required to pay a dealership. That would be the purchase price of the vehicle, your state sales tax of where you're going to title the vehicle at, not where you're buying it, where you're going to title it. Unfortunately, there are DMV fees, and those varies by state, counties, and regions, and then that pesky doc fee. Yes, I know there's a lot of information out there on doc fees, and unfortunately, a lot of it is bad and wrong. The biggest one that I see that it's wrong is only pay a $75 doc fee. Whoever's saying that, I don't know where it's coming from, but they have no credibility in why they're coming up with that number. They're just making it up to make themselves sound influential in the car business. It's absolutely wrong. Dealerships will never negotiate the doc fee out because there's too many legal ramifications. If the dealership is willing to negotiate the doc fee and lower it, excellent. Make them lower the fee. If they lower the purchase price of the car and tell you that it's for the doc fee, you're not negotiating the dock fee, you're only negotiating the price of the car still. If you found benefit in this video, please consider subscribing, turning on your notifications, sharing to help a friend out, and leave a comment below.